on Zoom. Are we live on YouTube? There, yeah, we are. Okay. Oops. How about now? Good morning. It is still morning. Yes. Today is Monday, April the 21st, 2025. And it's been such a weird last couple of days for me. I did do a live intuitive hangout session on Friday night. And I don't know what is surfacing, but there's something huge within me that's surfacing. And it really has run my show over the last 48 hours. I am aware that we've had some more, electromagnetic goings on with the sun, and that always seems to throw my whole system for a loop, which it definitely did. There's been a lot of, and it's all on the right side. So I know this is all old, very old energy coming up to be purged, looked at, sit with, and purged. A lot of pain is what I'm trying to get at here, which is why I did not come and do anything on Saturday or Sunday. I just kind of moved from room to room very gingerly. That's how that worked. Between that and looking into some other things, it's just, whale of a time. Your charge is to enlarge. Isn't that interesting? This is from the hero's journey. And I mean, it flipped over. It was about to be put in the deck backwards, facing upwards facing, I mean, because I almost didn't see it. So your charge is to enlarge. Well, I am aware that as I see things that I feel to share, I am to share them. And so I did do a recording this morning that I will be putting out later on today. It was something someone had written on Facebook, and it resonated so deeply within my body. I was doing the ugly cry, man. It has to do with what happens when we're born. So take a look out for that. I'd love to get everybody's opinion if you feel so led to share what it evokes within you. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, the surrender deck. Surrender your belief in scarcity. Well, that is a belief that things are scarce, and I know that that's not so. Even though what I'm being faced with right now, I'm being asked to really make sure I don't believe in that. Because really things aren't scarce. There isn't a lack of anything on this planet. There's no food shortages, there's no energy shortages. They're all there. It's all available. It's just we're still playing that game of money right now. So hopefully we will stop playing that. The Guardian at the Gate. Isn't that interesting? That just popped right out. Just as I'm saying that that those things don't really even exist anymore. Guardian at the gate. Sometimes I wonder, what exactly am I doing? This is for me, I know that. What am I trying to show me? What are we all trying to show ourselves? Hmm. Yesterday was Easter for those who follow that sort of thing. Fire and ice. That's very interesting. This is a time of what I have termed Azoth, which is a joining of fire and ice. Isn't that interesting? It's I think it's an alchemical term. That's the way it feels anyway. See what the divine animal oracle has to share with us. Guardian at the gate is card number 3. I'm noticing that's interesting. Ooh, 2 came flying out. Card number 1, gorilla. And the keyword is peace. And card number 9, the jaguar, release. Wow. One being with their back to us, with a spear in the helmet and the word peace, and the other being facing us, but not facing us. Wow. Okay, that's very interesting. Those 2 cards coming out together like that. And the keyword release. Given all the pain that I've been having of late, and the fact that I just know with all of me that it's tied to some very deep, it's very hot, very deep traumas. I know that I'm to release. I'm just wondering if there's something I'm to see from it. It goes flying across the room. Water Lake Star. We had that card before. All these cards in this deck that we haven't had, and something we've had before comes out. Here's another one: Land Cave Star. Oof, this one took my breath away. That's very interesting. Okay, so the guardian at the gate wants to be first, and I had a feeling that was going to happen as soon as I saw that card. Guardian at the gate. Passages to new life. Openings. gatekeeping. The principal task of the guardian at the gate is to facilitate the passage from one realm to another and to block the passage of that which is not ready to pass. These realms may be earth, fairy, cosmos of the singers, or unity. They can also be considered as levels of reality or states of consciousness. In one state of consciousness, we are in the ordinary world. In another, we are in fairy or unity. Our bodies don't move, but our minds do. Now, I'm not so sure about that part, but the guardian at the gate of unity facilitates the passage of the song into the hearts of the singers and aids the passages of humans and fairies into unity to be filled by that song when it is their time. We cannot make the mystical experience happen to us. We can only open our hearts wider and wider until we are ready. Usually only momentarily to receive it. The guardian at the gate recognizes our readiness. Along this line, one man in the Oracle online group notes, we see the energy gathering into the starry gate or streaming out of it in the picture. We cannot tell what is happening on the other side of the gate. This is very suggestive of how these gates and our passages through them can be. This is the primal spirit of all of the guardians that appear when we are about to step through all metaphorical and most physical gateways, from the guardians of the passages between the worlds to the guardians or doorkeepers at your own front door. They are all manifestations of one spirit, like facets of different sizes on the surface of one diamond. Naturally, this card shows the guardian at the gateway to fairy and also to the fairies oracle itself. Every person, every fairy who has ever, make sure I got the right, who has ever helped us through an important passage was manifesting the energy of the guardian. Now the guardian holds the gate of the other world open for us. All we need to do is enter. Drawing this card indicates that a passage is being made to the beginning of something new in our lives. It speaks of new opportunities and new openings. Passing through this gate may lead to a physical journey, a mental or an emotional one, or a journey of the spirit. It always leads to adventure. This gate will also lead to signify change in our lives. The passage through such a gate changes us. The gate we face may not seem like much. The decision to enter may not seem to be a matter of great moment, but the presence of the guardian at the gate tells us that something important is happening. It indicates that going forward through that gate is no small thing, but something to be approached with awareness and prayerfulness. We are embarking on a new phase of our lives, and there will be no going back once this gate has been passed. That is the kind of transition the guardian at the gate leads us to. always to irrevocable change. We may, of course, ask the guardian at the gate for guidance and protection on our journey, and we would be wise to do so. Alternatively, the presence of the gatekeeper in a reading may indicate that the querent is being asked to help open a gate for someone else, to help provide an opportunity for them. The job of a gatekeeper or gatekeeper's assistant is merely to open the gate, not to push people through it. Wow. Well, in terms of one of the other cards that we drew here, your charge is to enlarge. That's kind of interesting. Mostly because I keep being shown, or I think I keep being shown, that there is going to be, or there is on its way to me, a whole new beginning of some sort. You know, what that's going to look like, how it will unfold, how I'm to move toward it, and all of that. I have no idea. So let's read what this one has to say. Oh, wow. I'm just now seeing how similar these cards are. Well, that's quite interesting, wouldn't you say? Okay, because the Guardian at the Gate is card number 3, and this one is a 7, it's card number 25, so it's a 7 numerologically. Whale of a time, your charge is to enlarge. There's a quote here from Joseph Campbell: the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Well, isn't that always the way? The message of this card: most people think of the belly of the whale stage of the hero's journey as a dark night of the soul, but it doesn't have to be. The key to finding joy in your connection with the whale aspect, whether you are in its belly or outside admiring it, is twofold. You have the ability to go with the flow and the potential to own your power. When you contemplate the nature of this loving ancient being we call whale, envision swimming with it and receiving its wisdom and love, you are reminded that you are sovereign, wild, and free. Whale is here to remind you that whenever you find yourself in a challenging circumstance, your charge is to enlarge. Your mandate is to become a heart space so large that all the world can fit in it. For example, all parts of you and all parts of humanity with nothing left out. In the belly of the whale, you're reminded to stop resisting and instead open and allow the diversity of life and the entire ocean of emotion of all sentient beings to be celebrated and loved. Wow. That's pretty powerful when you think about it. There's a dream symbol of whales and sea creatures. Dreams of whales or other sea creatures, fish, dolphins, whales, mermaids, signify that you are connecting with your own multidimensional wisdom, intelligence, and healing. Whales are magnificent creatures, thought to be a more enlightened species than humans, and they rely upon sonar to communicate. This dream may be suggesting that you are becoming a more telepathic, advanced version of yourself. There's a mantra here: as I embrace my inner whale, I feel my heart grow as big and deep as the ocean. There's a lot about, for me, especially recently, more recently, because I know we're moving from an ego based consciousness to a heart based consciousness. It is my ego that has been programmed and conditioned in certain ways, right? And as I see those ways, those programs, and I allow them to leave, I can feel that being more in the flow of everything, of being shown the best way forward. Wow. Okay. I still can't get over how similar these two cards look even. Okay. Very interesting. Let's see. These two cards that came out, I have to uh, say are very interesting to me. The from the Divine Animal Oracle, we have gorilla and jaguar. This card carries the keyword peace. This card, release. The gorilla wants to go first. Card number 1, the I am. The keyword peace. To seek or negotiate for peace is a position of strength, not weakness. Choose peace rather than war. Strong leaders lead by example. The greatest kind of strength involves restraint. Don't judge a book by its cover. Oh, that's a really true statement. I've been judged a lot in my life, uh, having been so heavy, and uh, the amount of judgment that one has without even realizing. I myself, have judged another, even though I had been so severely judged. The mythos. Um, I don't know how to pronounce this. It's NGI, and I think it's Ni, is one of the 4 sons of Zambia, the creator god of the Yawinde people of Cameroon in Africa. All of nature, including the sky and stars, was made by Zamba. All things except human beings. He decided to give that job of creation to his 4 sons with the instruction that they make man into their own image. His 4 sons were Nkokan, the mantis, who was wise, Woe, the chimpanzee, who was curious, Otukut, the lizard, who played the fool, and of course, Ni, the gorilla, who was strong. It is said that Ni was in the thick forest with his family of wives and children. A man decided that he wanted to see Ni for himself, as he thought he and his people may be stronger. So he followed Ni to watch him. He watched him rule over his realm in nature with fairness and peace. He watched him share food. He watched Ni settle arguments and watched him gently play with the young ones. The man watched, but didn't see Ni display any great strength. One day, the man came into the clearing and threatened Ni. Ni did not react to the man's threats, other than to ask him to go back to his own place if this was how he wished to act. Finally, Ni stood up to leave. And as he did, he picked up a huge stone boulder. He did not even face the man. He simply picked up the boulder and then set it down. He then returned to the forest. The man realized he has just witnessed true strength, the kind that has at its heart restraint. The animal. Wild gorillas, of which there are 4 species, are only found in Africa. They are the largest living primates and share between 95 to 99% of their DNA with humans. Mountain gorillas are found in the highlands of Rwanda, Uganda, and the Republic of Congo. They are listed as endangered, which has decreased from being listed as critically endangered prior to 2018. Western lowland gorillas have 2 subspecies and are found in Central West African nations such as Cameroon. Eastern lowland gorillas are found in the Congo. Cross-river gorillas are only found at Cameroon-Nigerian border areas on the Cross River. Gorillas live in social groups called troops, with a lead male and normally groups of females with their offspring. They have a deep emotional life, both laughing and crying being among other emotions they express. Despite their size and incredible strength, gorillas are peaceful creatures that rarely fight or injure each other in the very rare cases where a male silverback has to defend his troop against other gorillas or a leopard. It can be a fight to the death. Like us, gorillas have individual fingerprints and use tools. They are intelligent and even mediate between each other to sort out their differences. The mature, dark-coated male with a saddle of silver on his back, the silverback, also happily plays with and shields the very small and dependent infants from any harm. The magic. Everyone has heard of King Gong, so perhaps the idea of guerrilla magic inciting peace and sociability may be shocking. We know of the huge physical strength of gorillas, yet this power is used with incredible restraint. When you need to exercise the same restraint, or you need to be the peacemaker in a situation, call in guerrilla magic to assist. Symbology: silverback, gorilla hand, gorilla on the summit of a mountain. The status: cross-river gorillas are critically endangered. Mountain gorillas are now listed as endangered. Both western and eastern lowland gorillas are critically endangered. The greatest threats are disease, hunting, and huge habitat loss. Now, I find it kind of interesting, too, that this talked about leopard. Well, it's not a leopard that we have for the next one. It is a jaguar, but still very interesting that these 2 cards come out together. Because while the strength is definitely with both of these, well, let's see what it has to say, because the key word here is release. And you can see that we have what appears to be female sitting with her head bowed here. Release what you no longer need. Take action to move something from the idea world into the physical world. That's quite specific, because there's a lot of ideas that I have. Let go of the old and stale and choose renewal. Wash away the negative aspects of the past. Surrender it all and embrace the new. That is part of what is in my field. The mythos. Ixchel, the fierce jaguar goddess of the ancient Mayan culture, was the goddess of midwifery, fertility, earth, rain, and the sacred sweat bath. Now that's quite interesting, because of what I felt to record this morning has to do with birth, and came, I suspect, from the mind of a midwife. Very interesting that. Look for that later on today. Widely honored, her cult extended at one time as far as the islands off the east coast of the Yucatan Peninsula. It was she who women turned to at the time of birthing. At birthing time, the woman was oiled and flowers put into her hair. The sweat bath, solid and womb-shaped, was prepared, and the rainwater barrels gathered, ready for the purging steam. Prayers to Ixchel in her jaguar form were offered. The woman would enter the sweat bath for some days until her labor began. She heard songs of her ancestors of the tribe, of the gods, and especially of Ixchel, as she who granted and would aid the birth. Stories were told to fill the spirit of the woman's body and make it strong and healthy. She would begin her labor and sweat for the release. She would then leave the sweat bath and give birth outside. Offerings were made to the jaguar goddess to celebrate the birth. Then the mother would re-enter the steam bath to purge herself of the afterbirth and of any toxins in her body. She would leave the sweat bath a mother, no longer a maiden, one day to become a grandmother. Okay, there's some real important magic about this. Wait till y'all hear what I just recorded right before this reading. The animal. There's something about that passageway thing, the guardian of the gate too, being a part of this reading. Because that's basically what I'm getting from this Jaguar card, being the guardian at the gate. If there is one word you can use to describe this particular member of the genus Panthera family, it is powerful. Jaguars are built powerfully, emphasizing their strength right down to their bones. They are stocky and low-slung with robust legs that can leap on and crush their prey. They are adept at swimming and can crawl silently through thick jungle. Their jaws are particularly well developed, and a comparative bite force study shows they possess the greatest force above clouded leopards, tigers, and lions. This enables them to literally pulverize the biggest bones of their prey. Jaguars are typically spotted, but come in a melanistic variation of black, and in parentheses, panthers. These particular panthers are only found in South America, whereas the pattern-coated jaguars are found right across Central North America, Mexico, and South America, including the Amazon. African and Asian panthers are leopards. The jaguar is the apex predator in most of its habitat, yet is threatened by habitat loss and killing by humans. The magic. Call upon the releasing powers of the jaguar woman X shell when you are ready to let go of something, whether it is an excess of something, a bad habit, a disease, or old patterns. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? X shell is a powerful discharging force. For those who are getting ready to birth, she is a wise guide and will assist you to have an easier birth. The symbology: sweat bath, upturned water jug, woman with jaguar ears, and steam. The status of jaguars are threatened. What I'm getting to here is that this doesn't have to be a violent transition for me, right? This new, whatever it is I'm getting ready to step into. It can be peaceful, a quiet strength, right? Wow. Okay. Surrender your belief in scarcity. The universe is asking you to open to the infinite nature of abundance. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. Because it really is just a thought that we have that things are scarce, because I don't believe that that's a true statement, that things are scarce. There's nothing on this planet that's scarce. Okay, so not page, it is page, but part number 37, fire and ice. You are learning to hold the tension of opposites, of those things that don't immediately seem to go together. Oh, like gorillas and jaguars within your being, without collapsing into confusion, judgment, or denial. Well, that's true. There is passion and serenity, creation and destruction, new life and death emerging within you, within your relationships. That's so true. Sometimes this is hard to handle. We want to make things simpler, to just let go of the conflict and complexity and choose one or the other. You are a grand enough soul to be able to withstand the rigors of depth, to go deep, to live fully, to let the divine have its way through you requires a willingness to stand at the center of the pairs of opposites and eventually know that they are connected to each other. that they exist only in relationship to each other, to breathe and simply be. That's a true statement. If you are consciously feeling the conflict in your life, internally or externally, then you are being initiated through fire and ice. Stay present, be patient, and wait. There is nothing to fix here, just awareness to step into as divine creation continues. Hang on. I got to get the right card or the right page there. As divine creation continues to unfold through you. As you master this initiation, you will find a sweet nectar of bliss dripping within. This oracle brings you guidance that the conflict you feel within or externally is a sign of your spiritual growth. Soon you will grow larger than the conflict, but for now, you do not need to engage in it, simply to be present to it and allow it to work its way through you until you are strong enough to have outgrown the conflict, giving rise to a clear direction. Oh, hello, Fonnie D. I'm so glad you're here, sweetie heart. I thought we were gonna get together. I really would love to talk with you. If you're free right after this, I would love for it to be now. So let's see. Let me finish this up here. This oracle brings you guidance that the conflict you feel within or externally is a sign of your spiritual growth. Soon you will grow larger than the conflict, but for now, you do not need to engage with it, in it, simply to be present to it and allow it to work its way through you until you are strong enough to have outgrown the conflict, giving rise to a clear direction. It may seem impossible, beloved, but it is not. You are a vast being. Give yourself a chance to realize this and have patience. All is becoming, including you, according to the perfection of divine design. This oracle brings specific guidance on any relationship matter requiring a decision. Until you have simple clarity in your heart, beyond the pushing away and pulling closer, then it is time to wait, for there is more yet to be revealed. Only when your heart speaks clearly, then you will do well to act as feels truthful for you. Well, that's good news. There is a beautiful silence now as I hold your hands and listen to your eyes across a span of moments called time. There are no words that say as much, nor walls that could confine the wings of our feelings or the rhythm of our eyes. Oh, how lovely, Fonnie. I have two cards to read, and then if you wouldn't mind, I would so appreciate our having a conversation. You know, just privately, I'll send you a Zoom link through Messenger. So, because if anybody's watching this now or later, Bonnie is also a reader, and if you click on her name, you'll go to her channel. Okay, so we had two of the Alchemy Elemental cards come out, and they are our last ones. Water Lake Star land cave star. How interesting that. Now, some of what this reading feels like, there were a few things that I read over the weekend that different channelers have put out saying that there's been a different, we've crossed some new threshold of some sort or another. And this really does this whole reading for me seems to support that information, right? I mean, who knows? It might be just me moving through, because I know I'm moving through something. But I don't know. So that's very interesting to me that this does seem to support that information. Okay, so this first one is on page 49. Water Lake Star. Life isn't always unicorns and rainbows. Oh, really? Darkness has its way with all of us, and there are times when we are called to step into the unseen realms because there are lessons for us to learn there and parts of ourselves to develop there. And those times and those realms can be scary as amid so many shadows and so much uncertainty. We don't always understand why we are going through what we are going through. But I'm here to assure you that your spirit knows exactly what it's doing and would never lead you astray. The light and the stillness that live in your heart always knows the way. Follow that light, my child. It is leading you toward your greatest heights and your highest desires. Now is a time for deep trust. Well, I keep getting that message no matter what. But I also keep getting the message that I can label something a mistake, or I shouldn't have done this and I should have done that. But whatever I might label it in the moment when it's occurring, that's in relation to what I think I'm supposed to be doing or what I think I want to be doing. But I've also been shown very clearly where I can trust the larger me no matter what. And that means I need to relax into me. I kept getting that message for, a long time too. Okay, so Land Cave Star. This one's on page 85. Opened almost right to it. Land Cave Star. We've not had this card at all. Your trust in the unseen and the faith you have given to the mysteries unfolding in your favor as you wade through the darkest of hours have brought you here to a place of great reward. The spirits are singing your praises, for you were brave enough to trust in the unknown. You found bliss in the darkness and found kinship among the shadow spirits by honoring them along your journey. What was once a realm of what was once a realm of darkness and trepidation is now decorated with shimmering jewels and beautiful gems, glistening totems, marking your successful efforts to bring beauty and surrender to where fear once ruled. You have overcome so much, my love. Now is the time to reap the rewards of your newfound freedom and of the inner peace and graceful resilience that will enrich your life for the rest of your years. Well, I'm down for that. This has been one heck of a reading today, I have to say. With the Guardian at the gate, can't get over how much these two cards are very similar, and they evoke the same feel within. The Guardian at the gate, the Whale of a Time. Your charge is to enlarge. These two, release with peace. That's a big, huge message to me in a lot of ways. And these two. This one right here, the fire and ice. I've been saying that for a while, a long while actually. That is to me Azoth energy. That is the melding, if you will, of what it is we're doing here on planet Earth, the evolving portions of it. Well, I hope this reading was helpful to you. It certainly was to me. And since that's why I do these readings, is for me. At any rate, thank you all for being here. Fani, I'll reach out to you just as soon as I turn this off. I hope that you will move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents itself to you. It really is just a matter of your perspective and your perception of your perspective. And there's always more than one way to look at something. Until we meet again, my friends, be well.